All right, good Tuesday, y'all. I ain't gonna say happy because we all know happy is reserved for Sundays, the real day of the week. But today we have a series that I want to talk about, chat it up with my niggas. This ain't even really a review. And in the first place, I'm starting to realize what I could call my videos. We're just gonna call these shits fan discussions. We're gonna come like moving into my Boruto series, my Tokyo Revengers. We just talking that shit like fan discussions. I don't really want to say reviews. I put review in it because it's like the easiest thing to search. Like it's like it comes to mind quicker when you enter the search bar and shit. But we have Yasuke, and let me just say this, bro. I dropped the shit. I dropped the shit in 5 episodes. I initially, when I was gonna give y'all these Tuesday videos, it was gonna be just a 6 week gap, right? I watched the first episode. I was like, dog, I don't. Then I came with the idea, okay, maybe I should do two episodes per review or per discussion, and it'll just be a 3 week thing. By that point, I'm like, ugh, I still don't. Watch 3 episodes, okay? Maybe I could give y'all half one week, half the other. By episode 4, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see the potential here. Let me just finish this series, and I could give y'all the whole thing in one video. Episode 5, I put that bitch. I'll turn that shit off. I just dropped the series before I even put this camera on. That shit was dropped, and let's just begin. Let's start this thing off with love. Let me just tell you what I actually did like about the series. And first things first, shout out to this series because it helped me kind of find my lane. Like as far as what I want to be doing when I turn this motherfucking camera on. Like I said, this ain't much of a because like it came to this. It came to this point where it's like, yeah, I could keep watching these episodes and try to critique, try to do all. But then it's like, why am I watching some shit that I don't even like? Like, I'm not gonna spend 6 weeks watching this shit. Like, I don't want it to be like, fuck, it's Tuesday, I gotta watch this. I gotta, give me a pen and paper out. I don't want to like Boruto gets the love because I actually fuck with this shit and I like the way they set it up, and that shit is an experience in itself. Like reading it and watching it, it's like every time I do a video about another anime, we somehow Boruto get brought up, and I guess that's how I love the shit, right? That's how I'm fucking with it. But let me just get into the fucking likes, right? Because before I get on another tangent, the first thing is the art. The actual art of the series is dope. It looks nice. It's a world where it's kind of like, okay, fuck, I could get behind this, and that's where they had me in the first episode. It's just the actual animation, the way people are moving. I know the niggas from Attack on Titan were behind this Jujutsu Kaisen. I just don't know what the fuck happened with Yasuke, dog. Like the fighting wasn't even all that. And when it comes to a story and the fighting isn't there, I'm like, okay, well maybe, or when I say anime, I mean if the fighting isn't there, hopefully the story itself can pick it up. Maybe the story's gonna be so heat that I don't give a fuck that this nigga kind of slow, and I know there's blood there that's cool, but maybe the story will help. I get into the story, I'm like, dog, I don't even give a fuck. I don't. But we have the art. That's the first thing one of the things I like. Secondly, and I think this is what the star of the show really was for me, is the music. Now, each time a beat came on, I'm like, okay, I fuck with it. I turn up my fucking car radio and shit. But it just got to the point where I started looking more forward to the music than the actual fucking fighting or what's happening. Like this series became a chore to fucking watch. And from the jump, I see a black motherfucker, he got a sword and shit, he finna throw these hands, this nigga speak when I first heard him speak Japanese, I'm like, oh, okay, we going somewhere with it. We going to the top with this one, bruh. Give me a black motherfucker speaking Japanese and he got hands. Come on, bruh. Fuck, I'm starting to brain fart. Let me just get to my next point. The music was heat. The symbolism, they had like a couple of symbolic moments, some themes and shit. Specifically when they get to like this piece of jewelry that a certain character wears, just in case some of you niggas want to go in there and give it a try. I ain't gonna, give y'all no spoilers or nothing. But there's a certain theme behind a piece of jewelry, and it's kind of like, oh, we could learn from our past. We could look towards our past to see our future type shit. So there was a few things that happened within that. And it was kind of just like, I didn't even finish the anime, but by like, I'd say the third or fourth episode, you'll see that shit. And I thought that was a dope moment. So that's where they kind of reeled me in, like, okay, we going somewhere. We could work with this. We could work with this. The anime ain't getting all there, but the story's starting to pick up. It just, like, I'm disappointed because I wanted this shit to work out so bad. Another thing I liked about this shit was the humor. And really, I can't even say the humor, but like the racial humor. Because most of the time there was humor. They were just making fun of the nigga for being black, which was cool. I mean, because this series didn't ignore the fact that this nigga being there in the first place is like an anomaly. Like, yo, like when certain characters meet him for the first time, they try to give him a bath and shit. They're washing his skin like, dog, why you still dirty, bro? Like, you know, shit like that. So it was fun to see them interacting with this person who's kind of like an alien to them. And they didn't ignore the fact that he was black. It was kind of like, in some senses, it was kind of like cute too. Like even the kids, like there's one character by the name of Ichiro who ended up being one of my favorite characters. But he even asked Yasuke, he's someone who kind of admires him, can you teach me how to fight? Well, how did you learn how to fight? And how'd you grow your hair like that? The motherfucker got dreads. So I was like, you know, how you grow your hair like that? Can I get to that shit? Like, you know, you could try, but I don't think it's going to work. But the racial humor was pretty dope. The humor, there were certain characters that made the show. And I think because the main character himself, and let's bleed into the dislikes, and we'll start with that. So the main character in the state and the time point where we are in the show, by this period, he's pretty washed and he's boring, right? His backstory is more entertaining than the actual plot, the current plot of what Yasuke is now. And I think the show would probably be more successful if they focused more on the young Yasuke than whatever the fuck we got now. Because this shit, I just didn't give a fuck. I didn't find myself being invested in this shit. And it's cool to see it unravel, but it's just like, say if I don't even know if it's because it's such a short series. I feel like if it was any longer, I still wouldn't want to continue on. It was just because by the time we get to Yasuke, he's not even a samurai. He don't even want to fucking, you know, he's like drinking and shit. He's always at the bar. And it's cool to see like these little interactions with, like, say, Ichiro, who's kind of like, okay, this is a TV show. He's kind of funny. He's bullying. He's fucking around with Yasuke. Maybe he's going to motivate him to become, you know, back into his old self. And there are certain moments where usually the child characters, whether it be I don't even know the girl's name. I don't even know her name, but all I remember is Ichiro. They kind of spark this thing within Yasuke, and it gets him to remember it. And then, like, throughout the show, there's like little moments that happen where it causes Yasuke to have it causes Yasuke to have flashbacks, not in no spiritual way or powerful way. It's just more so like they strike a nerve within him, and then he has a flashback, and it's kind of like, oh, I remember I used to be like this, you know, when I was a young nigga, you know, I was trying to fuck these bitches and shit, you know, put hands on niggas. And then we get into his more interesting story. Shit, I don't even know what I'm talking about, I think, anyway. But the storytelling itself, like, and I don't know if this has to do with the direction. I kind of looked through some comments and shit. Some people were saying you can't blame the animators, you got to blame the directors. I don't really know the difference between the two when it comes to talking about the animation and the directing, because to me it just seemed like I say the animation, it just seemed like it was choppy. So there would be moments where, okay, Yasuke, he's about to get, you know, fucked up right here. Then all of a sudden, the very next moment, he's just stabbing somebody in the chest. He wins the fight. So it's kind of, oh, okay, we'll run with it. Fuck it. Let's just see what happens next. Oh, a beat came on. Okay, fuck it. I forgive you for real now. You know? And it just seemed like things became more convenient for the main characters. Like, we have this girl. She has these powers. She doesn't know how to use them. They make her sick. All of a sudden, she's using them to defeat her enemies just because. Like you know, shit like that would happen. I'm like, dog, what the fuck? Okay, fuck it. Like, all right, fuck it. Next episode, let's see what happens. These niggas, you know. But when I turned this shit off is when there was like a certain character who in the backstory was cool. Well, not cool, but like he made it interesting because he had like a little beef with Yasuke. And he didn't really fuck with him because he was black. And, you know, these niggas was, you know, he joined the little crew he was in. And he's like, dog, this nigga black. They treating him better than me and shit. This motherfucker ain't even a real samurai. He's, you know, I'm more of the old way. I like the old way better. This nigga ends up fighting him again like 50 fucking years later. Like, he takes it ends up, like, that's a spoiler right there. But there's like a certain person who comes to fight Yasuke. And he's like, yeah, dog, I still don't fuck with you, nigga. And then now they're gonna fight. So that's, at that moment, I turned the shit off. I just didn't, like, this shit was trash. And without saying it was trash, this shit was trash. I didn't want to say it was trash, but that's all I can say, bro. Like, literally, I was watching this shit, and I'd be like, okay, we, you know, this guy's potential. This shit fucking garbage, bro. What the fuck am I doing? This shit is fucking trash. And then I would just watch the next episode. This shit is fucking trash. Okay, we doing something, like, that was like, it was just up and down. Like, I said this shit was trash more than I liked the shit. And honestly, this video going on for too fucking long. I ain't gonna say don't watch Yasuke, but I didn't fuck with Yasuke, dog, and I'm sorry. I just had to do, I did this video for my niggas. I told you niggas it's gonna be Tuesday coming up, and this is what we got, bruh. Hey, Castlevania season 4 is out, so I'm gonna fuck with Castle. And let's talk about that. So yeah, at the point of like, cause in Castlevania, when we first began Castlevania in season 1, the main guy, I'll forget his fucking name. The main character, he's at a point where he's kind of washed too. He's like kind of out of shape and shit. He's not really motivated. He's a monster hunter, but you know, he don't really give a fuck too much about, you know, doing his job. But the fighting is still good. The story is fucking flames. And they make it work. And eventually, you know, he starts to get back in his rhythm. He has a purpose again. Whereas Yasuke, it's kind of like, dog, why are you the most boring aspect of the show? You supposed to make me want to fucking buy a sword and shit. You supposed to make me like, come on, bruh. You supposed to make me motivated to, you know, go out there and try to put hands on niggas for no fucking reason. But that's where I'm gonna leave y'all. Yasuke wasn't the shit for me. Hey, man, I thought we was gonna be here for at least 6 Tuesdays. I don't know. I'll try to figure something out for next week. I don't even know. Cause it's kind of hard to like go back. Like yeah, bro. I don't know if a Tuesday's gonna work. I don't know if we're gonna do any more Tuesdays, bro. Cause Yasuke, I had my faith in Yasuke, but it didn't happen, dog. So I'm gonna leave y'all there. I'm probably gonna, you know, get something to eat, wash my fucking self up. I don't want to be musty. So peace.